now. 'Cause you look
Hopefully
like
not. Hopefully not. Well, we're gonna see if you don't be turning off Blue Man, but it's still rolling, and hopefully I got that cut. You guys said for the Green Party, right? So you guys don't work with Jill Stein directly, or do you guys do work with Jill Stein directly?
No, we're not part of her direct campaign. So the Green Party, just like other political parties, right, you're covering a lot of geographical ground. We're a local party, right? So every state has its own division. Right, okay. And then within it, you'll have subdivisions, right?
Okay.
Because Illinois is big as heck.
Yes.
Occupied land. But like Cook County, usually we separate it by counties.
Right.
But it'll also depend on how many people want to be part of the Green Party, right? If it's just one person, right now we got one person where up north somewhere.
In Morton Grove?
In Morton, in Niles Township, just one person. Poor guy. When he kicks the bucket, I don't know who's going to be left.
Wow.
But that's the thing, right? This is very organic. It's very decentralized.
Right.
The Green Party is what people make it to be.
Okay.
If people want to participate, then it grows, it's active, it works. But when people don't, and like it just ages out, which is what's happening in at Illinois for the Green Party and in other places as well, that's when you have a problem.
Right.
And the party dies with the people. But right now what we're trying to do is reinvigorate the Green Party locally. Right, we found out about the Green Party 2 weeks ago from Zoe Ma. She had joined earlier in the year in May, right, or like March or something like that. So it's being infused with new energy. When we heard that, because really especially after the DNC, and seeing that the Democratic Party would not be moved to do the moral and right thing and call for a ceasefire, make that a top priority, right? And to end the genocide. I think a lot of people were just surprised. I think a lot of people in leadership, in activist and movement spaces were thinking that the Democratic Party, especially as the elections were nearing, would do the right thing. And when they didn't, it seemed like they didn't have a real electoral strategy. And when the uncommitted leadership came out and said that, oh, don't vote for Kamala. Oh, no, they said, we're not endorsing Kamala, but Trump is really bad.
Yeah.
But we're not endorsing anybody, and maybe voting third party's not so good.
So it's a very like directionless, fear-based like mindset that the majority of the people have who are really mobilized in the anti-genocide movement.
Okay. So how many people are in your organization then in the Cook County, since you guys are in charge of that? Because you guys are both, right? Executive? So how many do you guys have?
So the executive committee is 5 people.
Oh, okay.
We came in because they were having elections. And so we're like, okay, we see no presence of the Green Party locally. Like you don't see any flyers, no materials really. It's just people are quietly making the decision that they're going to vote Green, they're going to vote third party. So we were like, okay, if something so obvious for us, like we were going to vote Green Party, right? If something so obvious is not happening and we've been waiting and waiting and waiting for leadership to step up and they're not doing it, we're like, okay, we got to be the change we want to see.
Yeah. And meeting Zoe. Zoe's just like a local Chicago.
Whoa, wait, but what I'm trying to say is like how many people are in your organization? Like how many people right now in your committee right now? Users 5?
There's 5 people in the committee.
Okay.
But the Cook County Green Party is part of the Illinois Green Party, right? So that has a membership of 110 people right now.
Okay.
And
before we entered, it was 50.
50, okay.
And we found out about this election that was happening for the new executive committee.
Right.
We did a 1-day Instagram campaign.
Right.
To vote for Safia and vote for me.
Okay.
And the second day of that campaign was the election. It was less than 24 hours. That's when the election happened. We got 40 people to come to that meeting for the elections. And historically, that meeting it was hard for them to even get 7 people to show up. And 7 people is the minimum to like do any kind of votes.
And our 1-day campaign increased their, our 1-day campaign doubled their membership, more than doubled. So before we ran, they had 50 people, in their membership. In less than 24 hours, they got 60 new members.
Okay.
Because you have to become a member in order to vote for us.
Okay.
So our people showed up.
Interesting. So, okay, I got quite a few questions then. So first things first, what is the Green Party then? Why are you guys running to the Green Party side? Why are you guys promoting the Green Party side? Why are you guys in the committee for the Green Party, right? These are the main questions for people that don't really understand what it is, because some people just go red, blue, that's all, right? That's at least what school teaches the students, the new generation, even college students, right? So what is the Green Party?
Well, the Green Party, it's the fourth largest political party in the U.S. So we got the Republicans, the Democrats, there's the Libertarians, and then there's the Green Party.
Okay.
So they are an established political party that has been in the running for many years. They have presidential nominees every single time. It's just that for third parties, they have to jump through hoops to even get on the election ballot. So they have to collect like thousands of signatures. They have to collect like 40,000 signatures per city, I think. And what happens is that the Democrats start challenging, or the Republicans or whoever, they start challenging those signatures. So then they have to hire lawyers, they have to pay a lot of money to even get on the ballot. It's expensive, and it's a lot of hard work, and it needs a lot of manpower.
So they kind of shadow ban the Green Party then, is what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah, not just the Green Party, like all third party efforts.
Third party? Okay, yeah. So what does the Green Party stand for then? What are the morals? We already know the left and the right, right? Blue and red. We already know what those stand for. We don't really care about it right now. What does the Green Party make you guys different than the rest, other candidates, other, committees? What's you guys' morals?
The Green Party is based off of the principles of people, peace, and planet.
Okay.
They stand out from the other political parties that we have in that they take stewardship of the earth seriously. They take the climate science that's coming out seriously. They take climate emergency seriously because we are facing ecocide.
Okay.
And our generation is going to get the worst of it. And every generation after us is going to be trying to survive.
Okay.
Peace, because the United States is constantly in a state of war. Kamala Harris lied on national TV and said we're not in war. What are American troops doing in Iraq still, right? I mean, there was a video online where like they were literally American troops stationed in Iraq, and they were watching her live, and they're like, "What are we doing then? What's going on?" So both the Republicans and the Democrats are pro-war. They're warmongers, actually. Okay. They can only conceive of an economy and American prosperity through the increased militarization around the world and also locally, right? You see an increased militarization of our local police departments.
Okay.
You see heavy investments from the technocrats in Silicon Valley. You have huge State Department contracts that goes to our universities. All like we are running and producing for war.
Okay.
Like structurally on every level. People in that the Green Party, unlike the other two parties, are people powered in that they only take money from people, not private corporations.
Okay.
Not large political action committees, okay, also known as PACs, and they don't take it from big donors.
Okay.
Historically, and even now, we see that when big money is involved and it's unregulated, the people with the most money get the most representation.
Okay.
And so this is a disastrous form of corruption and bribery that just is rampant within our political system, and we need drastic electoral reform.
Because it's literally eroding democracy.
Okay.
Right. It turns us into an oligarchy, and actually a lot of political scientists for years have called the United States not a democracy but an oligarchy, where a handful of very wealthy, influential people run this country, and their interests are represented, not ours, not the common people.
Okay, so now I know what the Green Party stands for, right? And you guys are supporting it, of course. Do you think Jill Stein then is capable of running your guys' party So if, let's just say she does win the November 5th election, is she capable of providing what you guys just said, what stands for the Green Party? Because Donald Trump is running for the Red Party, right? Is he going to deliver? Who knows? Did Joe Biden deliver for the Blue Party? Who knows, right? It's controversial. So do you think Jill Stein is going to be able to, accomplish what you guys just said, your definition of the Green Party? Because you guys are representing her pretty much.
Well, I don't think it's not about the candidate, right? It's the platform that the candidates are standing on.
Okay.
And neither the Democratic nor the Republican parties have made their foundations based off of people, peace, and planet.
Right.
Right. But the Green Party, it stands on those principles. Right. So it doesn't matter what kind of candidates these parties produce, right? Whether it's Jill Stein or somebody else, you are standing on this kind of foundation, and it's a good and healthy foundation.
Okay.
What we're seeing from the Democrats and the Republicans, really, especially after witnessing 1 year plus of genocide, we don't know what they stand for. They definitely don't stand for us, right? It seems like it's been a lot of lip service from both parties, right? And all of a sudden they want to talk about peace when they're the biggest warmongers on the planet. And we're witnessing it with our own eyes. So with Jill Stein, it's not about whether or not Jill Stein is going to win. We think that this election is a critical point in diversifying our democratic choice, right? We don't ever want to experience what we are right now, where we have to vote between genocide and genocide in two different colors, where we have to vote for which one is going to be the lesser warmonger. Right. I mean, like people are, they don't even trust in Kamala Harris. They're just like, at least she'll listen to us. Is that our standard? Just having someone in the highest realms of power who depends on our participation to get there. All we're demanding is for somebody to listen. No, we have higher demands. We demand more choice. We don't ever want to be in an election again where we are stuck with a politics of fear. The warmongers are fear-mongering us into making us feel like we're stuck between red and blue. What we want to do is intercept the two-party dichotomy. We want to break the cycle of constantly having to vote for the lesser of the two evils. That's a moral calculation that we should never have to do in the first place. We should always be voting for the greater good. Our candidates should be the people of the utmost character, right, and principles. They should be representing us, right? The winnable goal this November is not necessarily to elect Jill Stein.
Okay.
The Green Party, if they get 5% of the popular vote, they can get federal funding.
Okay.
And that changes the game drastically for a people-powered movement, especially when you're not getting big money for big donors, right? Getting that influx of federal funding would be huge. We would have the resources to build up the Green Party for people to have choices beyond a two-party dichotomy.
Okay, so you answered a couple questions what I was just going to ask right now, right? After November 5th, regardless of who wins, blue or red, right? Those are the two ones that are trending. Are we going to keep it, let's just say it doesn't get
dominating, hegemonic.
Yeah, let's just say you guys don't reach the 5%, right? How are you guys going to go forward to actually keep making a voice for you guys, for the Green Party, right? Because win or lose, if you guys don't reach the 5%, you guys just going to walk away, or how are you guys going to empower it for the next election for 2028, right? I'm asking that question just for Hillary, she got all out in 2016, right? Not saying who I was choosing, I was 16 at that time, right? But she was promising all this, and once she lost, what happened to her? What? Didn't do anything that she promised. Not even worked on it, not even chipped on it, just went MIA. So I'm just asking you guys, because you guys are representing Illinois Cook County, right? In 4 years, going to be looking different.
She didn't go MIA. She got salty as heck, and she eroded our democracy even further, right? Because her opponent was Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of people, for a lot of people, Bernie Sanders was the most representative candidate, right? You had even a lot of people who ended up voting for Trump. They were going to vote for Bernie Sanders. But Hillary Clinton, I met her once, actually. It was a terrible experience. She seems like an empty person. May God guide her and fill her with something more meaningful than warmongering. She eroded our democracy even further by making it harder for people like Bernie Sanders to run. And so Bernie Sanders was running Democrat, right? Right. What we've come to is that there's not even electoral choice within the party, right? The Democrats, because of their history at suppressing even choice internally, have left us with even less and less choices. This is a long trend in eroding our electoral choice. Even among the Democrats, I think we're getting the worst and the most conservative among the Democrats. Like Kamala Harris, for example, right? People are like, oh, this is progress. Why? Because she's brown? Because she's black? She's a prosecutor. If you look at her history, right? Being a prosecutor in California, she has one of the most conservative politics, right? She weaponized the law to go after families and punish them, right? She's someone who consistently has failed to take a moral stance on a number of issues, right? Even during the campaign, right? She hardly talks about her policies. You only hear her fear-mongering about Trump, making fun of Trump. It seems like every time you look at these candidates, it's like you're watching an episode of Gossip Girl, right? They just talking shit about each other. They stirring up drama. Oh, don't like her. Vote for me. I'm more popular. That's what it feels like. It's so petty. Right? Give us choices. Give us meaningful policies. Tell us what you stand for.
So I'm in a neutral. This is going to be a little bit off topic. Not really. So I'm neutral, right? Like you just said about Kamala Harris, right? You just covered that a little bit. Donald Trump, right? He's favored to win, right? And I have this conversation all the time, right? Like I'm neutral. I don't really say like what side or all that. But me thinking about it, I'm like, he's 82 years old. He's been president once. He's a multi-billionaire, right? He's almost been assassinated almost like twice or three times, and he's still running, right? Don't you guys think he has an ounce or actually cares about this country more than anyone else? Being that he has 15 years left of his life, max. But still a multi-billionaire and could be pissed off, can go piss off in an island to live the next 15 years free. When I start to think about this, I'm just like, why? It makes me think why people are actually starting to like him more and vote for him and being more likable, I don't know what are your thoughts on that or on him. I'm asking that just because he has the popularity. And like you said, Kamala is just popular because she is brown, female.
I think she's being pushed based off of identity politics, and that's a hollow grounds for electing somebody. With Trump, I don't know. You want to talk about Trump? I
don't know if there's anything about his motivations that has anything to do with service.
Okay.
I'm gonna just say that.
Okay.
I feel like, I don't know. It's you're at the top. You're at the top of the country, and you're at the top of the country that's the top of the world. It's an ego thing, first of all.
Right.
And I don't know. I just don't see that as a convincing counterpoint for me.
I think a lot of people end up voting for Trump because they want some change or something, or they don't like literally they just don't like the other guy or gal, I guess, in this case, or don't want to misgender.
It becomes like it's also like it's an ideological, like you identify with the party, and it's not about like what are the politics or who is the person. It's about, oh, I've always been a Republican or I've always been a Democrat, and that's who I vote for.
And the Democrats, they failed the American public. When they had the opportunity to impeach him, they didn't go all the way, right? Like he was like a sitting president that was impeached by Congress, but they didn't go all the way where he would have been barred from running again.
Yeah.
Right? They made a very weak case, the Democrats, against him, and they lost. This is something that we see over and over again. Every time we elect Democrats, we get hollow promises, and the bare minimum, they don't fight for the things that they try to get our votes for, right? Like even the most basic things like climate change, women's rights, all of these things, we're losing them because the Democrats don't fight, right? Look at the Obama years, right? When Obama was elected in his first term, or was it his second term? Excuse me. At a very one of Obama's terms, right? He had the executive branch, he had the judicial branch, and he had the Congress being majority Democrat. They could have moved so many things into law. We wouldn't have such a bad situation if they were more aggressive with their policies. Not even aggressive, brother. You just got to do your job. You got elected on this platform to achieve these kinds of policy goals. Get them done. Instead, they would be like, oh, we don't want to alienate our friends on the other side of the aisle. Bruh, they trying to kill us. What you talking about? And then election time comes around, they're like, oh, what? Then they just talking shit about each other. What happened to not alienating the other side of the aisle? Now you want to win, right? Like, it's like, if you get power, why are you not using it? For, like, what do you stand for? It's really like, that's the question that I've consistently had with Democrats, right? Every time they come into office, it seems like they just act like Republicans. They just act like conservatives.
People in disguise. They just tell you stuff that you want to hear.
Yeah, I don't know. Right. They just get comfortable.
And I think bringing up Trump, people, the first response we usually get when we talk about voting third party is that's going to take away the votes from the Democrats. That's going to be a shoe-in for Trump. That's going to be not even a shoe-in. It's going to be like a seal the deal for Trump. And people are
spoilers.
People are afraid of fascism, and they're afraid of limiting their freedoms. And I just, like, everything Safia said about the Democrats, like, even to a personal level, if you're Muslim and you grew up Muslim in America, all the shit we went through, it was under the Democrats. Like, my family personally, like, I've had to suffer so much, with, like, waiting at the borders, being interrogated at the borders, that was all under Obama. Not getting people, like, put on lists for no reason, getting surveilled.
Obama literally had a kill list. He was the first president that executed extrajudicially an American citizen, Anwar al-Awlaki, right? And his I forgot how old his son was, but he wasn't even 18. He was like 16, 17.
Whoa.
Year old son, right? And they were American citizens. They were the head. He was the imam of a very prominent mosque in the United States. Yeah. And even when Bush was running for election in his first term, Bush Jr., he was encouraging everyone to vote Republican. He was trying to get people to get electoral, right? This is 2000s, right? And then he saw the war on terror and the way that it was brutalizing Muslims, not just here in the United States, but everywhere around the world. And these tentacles of oppression just kept spreading and spreading. And that's what radicalized him, right? And he started thinking that there was no hope in America. There was no democratic pathway to preserve Muslim life. And he's not wrong, right? He wasn't wrong, right? What we're seeing is industrial scale elimination of Muslim life.
So with the Green Party, is it going to stop like the industrial? Because you just
hold on, brother. We're kind of flowing in a way. Hold on. So on what? I mean, I just remember this, brother. Like, how much shit did we just accept, right? With no accountability.
I think Obama even ran one of his campaigns on promising to close Guantanamo.
That was his first campaign, bro.
Yeah.
He was like,
and never happened.
It never fucking happened. And now Biden is using it to house Haitian, not even put Haitian immigrants in cages. It's been repurposed for another kind of oppression. Fuck Obama. Yeah, me mad right now. Anyway, it's crazy, right? The Democrats, and the most progressive face of the Democrats is Obama, right? The poster child of progress is Obama. And if you look at his track record, he has done so much damage in the erosion of democracy, right? You know, forget identity politics. You want to put like anti-Muslim racism aside. right? You just look at the way that the Democrats and the Republicans have both eroded so deeply our democracy. They have made smaller and smaller crevices for the people to organize and voice their opinions. And this is the result. The fact that we have to have such a narrow race is not because of us. It's not because of Muslims being single issue voters. The industrial scale killing of an entire population is a red line, motherfuckers. It's not just about sorry, I lost my train of thought. It's not just about the Green Party being spoilers, right? It's about them failing and creating a toxic environment for our democracy. They have dug this hole that we're in.
Exactly, completely. And that was really the motivating force for us to even turn third party in the first place.
Okay.
So after months and months of unrelenting genocide and unmitigated sales of weapons from our country to Israel, we both agreed immediately, okay, we're not voting.
For none of those two.
Voting Democrat. We're not voting anything.
If we didn't have the Green Party, we wouldn't be voting at all.
Exactly.
If we didn't have a third party alternative, we wouldn't be voting at all.
Okay, so what's going to happen then if the left or blue win? So if the left wins, what's going to happen in the Muslim community, right? Like the genocide over there in Gaza, Palestine. And if the right wins, what is going to happen then, right? There's going to be a riot regardless. But what's going to happen in the community then?
There's no real left, right? Like the Democrats aren't the real left. But if you're talking about the Democratic Party, the Democratic establishment, I think a lot of people are hoping that they'll at least listen, right? They'll maybe listen to what we have to say about Islamophobia. They'll maybe listen to what we have to say about, the war being out of hand. They might do a little bit of lip service and being like, oh, the killing of aid workers and UN workers is so bad. Oh, the mass killing of children and families and women is so bad. But here's my signature for more weapons. Mm-hmm. Right? Whereas
that's exactly what we've been seeing.
Exactly.
For a year.
We don't see any change really. Like what we've been seeing under the Biden administration is probably what we're going to get under Kamala.
Mm. And if Trump wins?
Oh, Trump is like the mystery candy that you get in a bag.
He hasn't started wars, to be honest, but he probably won't be as much.
Them, right?
There we go.
Right, and he's instigated a few wars too, right? Like moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Right? So he's an instigator. And his whole team, right? He brings in Zionists with him, like really radical Zionists. Jared Kushner, and so many others who believe that the Gaza is prime real estate property because it's next to the ocean, right? Next to the sea, whatever. They think of this as a business opportunity. And then you have others within his cabinet that are believe that God is a real estate agent. And has promised this land to the Jewish people, broadly speaking, whatever that means. So I don't know what's going to happen with Trump, but the fact of the matter is I'm not going to limit my imagination to Trump.
Yeah.
The politics and the world that we are trying to create and build towards is not going to put Mr. Orange in the center of it. Trump is something that is a product of a failing democracy, of the Democratic Party failing to hold accountable and use its powers to create a healthy political environment. Trump is not an abnormal thing that a lot of these liberals want to wash their hands off of. He is an image of what America is. They're looking at the mirror when they're looking at Trump, and it scares them.
So with the Green Party in Palestine, how's it going to switch this, change the situation over there? So let's just say the Green Party does end up winning, right? What's going to happen? What's the outcome, and what do you guys want to happen right away if the Green Party wins? What changes are you guys trying to see right away?
Right away, okay, so November 5th, we get that 5%. We're finally eligible for federal funding. We have this huge influx of resources. We also expect a huge influx of new membership. That's already happening, right? With little dents here and there. Our one-day campaign bringing in 60 people. We've been going around all of Chicago and Illinois, bringing in members after members after members. So there's no doubt that we are going to grow. Right? Even if we don't get that 5%, the growth that we have been able to achieve in terms of membership in Illinois alone.
In a matter of like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in our third week, right? We've been visiting every part of Illinois and Chicago that we can. And every community we visit, people are like, thank you. How do we get involved?
They're looking for this.
Is it just for the Muslim community, or are you talking about other people too as well?
Other people, like we were just canvassing in our local neighborhood.
Anyone who's really, really abhorred and shocked about the scale of genocide that is being allowed to happen and carry out has resonated with what we have to say. You want to
You want to tell the story? Okay, which story you want to tell?
The signs?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So we were canvassing the other day.
We had some like Green Party like stickers and stuff we were putting up on lampposts. We were handing out like flyers, putting stuff on people's doors.
And then we see these Harris wall signs.
Yeah.
And we're like, we got to do something. So we got our stickers that says ceasefire and Jill Stein 2024. And we started putting it on the signs. A little bit of vandalism.
Okay.
Yeah. And the lady who owns those signs
happened to be walking her dog on the sidewalk.
And what
keep going. I'm gonna keep ad-libbing. You go. You carry it.
And then she was like,
you guys are just admitting a crime. Like, okay, but keep on.
But we took it out.
No. She let us, right? We started that interaction started with us vandalizing someone's private signs for Harrison Walls. And after a 30-minute conversation, she said, please vandalize my sign. And not only that, I will be voting green this election.
Oh, wow.
And if you run, I will vote for you.
Right.
Like, that's what she said. She took signs from us. She took flyers from us. She took stickers. She's like, I'm going to pass these out to my friends.
Yeah, and as she's walking her dog, she's canvassing for us.
Oh, wow.
So we turned someone who had 4 signs, at least, right? We saw 4, at least, of Harrison Walls. Right, and she's like surveillancing them. She's like making sure nobody's doing nothing. We roll up, ready to cause some damage, and we did. We did. We changed not just the sign, but her heart and mind. She was undecided, really.
And the thing about her was that she was afraid. Okay. She was afraid, and she said, if Trump comes in, like, it's over for all of us. Like, we can't let that happen under no circumstances. So we have to do the necessary bad thing. Okay. That was her mindset. And so, like, our hope here is to change that mindset of fear into one of imagination, into one of hope. And that takes building, and that takes conversations, and that takes a lot of work.
Yeah, we have witnessed the politics of horror. And right now, the same warmongers that have put us in that situation are trying to dominate our minds and cloud it with a politics of fear. But what we are trying to build is a politics of possibility. And that requires not just hope, right? It requires action. It requires commitment. Strategy. It requires strategy and consistency. And what we've seen with the pro-Palestine, anti-genocide, anti-war movement is that you have had people with their entire families sometimes showing up consistently every single day, every single opportunity, in every single way for Palestine, for life, against war. Yeah. And it's those kinds of disciplined people who are committed to justice that we want to mobilize, right? We are not trying to make the Green Party act like the way that the Democrats and the Republicans are acting, right? We don't want a fan club. We don't want a country club. We don't want almost like a cult.
We don't want it to be like, oh, this is my identity.
Exactly.
We want it to reflect what the people bring to it are.
Okay.
Right. Something based off of principles, policies, something that is flexible, something that we have to steward, something that we have to keep adaptable, right? That you have to constantly, you can't be taking people's votes for granted. You have to constantly be seeing where they're at, what are the challenges of the day, and making sure your policies are up to date for the greater good.
So this is like my last question then for you guys. So we have maybe like a week left for the election, right? What are you guys going to do between that? What are you guys going to promote? How are you guys going to promote it? And what are you guys going to start doing as of tomorrow? As of tonight, actually.
As of what we've been doing for the past 3 weeks. Yeah, we're traveling. We're traveling around the city. We came on here. You know, we are just trying to amplify that there are winnable goals. November 5th, there is a strategy that we have that we can do on the 5th of November.
Okay.
And if it's not getting in the White House, it's getting that access. It's getting the 5%. It's creating conditions for us to flourish. And we're building relationships with different communities, and we're putting the word out there for people to step up and see themselves as leaders. So that, because the next step would be to start local and get into positions of influence locally. And then keep climbing from there.
Okay.
Yeah. We're already having conversations about what we're going to do for the next elections.
Yeah.
Right. We're already thinking about 2026 when members of Congress are going to be up for re-election. We're thinking about when all of the local positions that we have in Cook County and Illinois are going to be up for re-election. And then we're also thinking about 2028. And we're thinking also about making sure that we change the rules of the game, right? What we bring with us are not just a roster of, completely different candidates who are committed to not their party, but to their principles. We are also working towards electoral reform. The very fact that we are building up the Green Party means that we are breaking away from the shackles of the two-party system. That leaves us with little room to breathe, right? Little room for democratic choice. How are you going to have a democracy when you have only two choices? Yeah. And they're not much different from each other. This is really about preserving the vitality of our democracy, making sure that the people who have been calling and pulling every lever of democracy, from protesting on the streets to calling members of Congress to having one-on-one meetings, petitioning, all of those people and their hard work in this last year and even before that are not in vain. We need to seize the power that beats us. We need to seize the power that tries to confine and eliminate us. And that can only happen if we get electoral with the right vision, with the right strategies, with the right foundation.
And now is the time, because of this sustained momentum that is at a scale that we haven't seen before, uniting around one thing, which is to end the genocide, to bring about justice. The amount of people who have stuck boycotting for an entire year, like specific brands that directly benefit from...
They've changed their entire lifestyles.
People have molded the way that they live and interact and consume with the world because they're standing on this principle. And then these people are finding each other and they're creating communities. So the momentum is like, this is a time we can't give up. Like, we can't risk not doing it now.
Right. You guys are on. What do I call you guys then? Because I feel like you guys are like a little team. Like, I don't want to.
We have been called many names.
Well, let's go with the good one. Let's go with the. I don't know.
No,
you guys look like a good duel.
I've never heard no bad ones about us.
Let's get a good duel. I don't know.
Dynamic duo.
We've been called the dynamic duo.
Yeah. So like, what would you guys call yourself? I don't know. Who knows? In 5 years, they just start calling you that.
Dynamic duo. I feel that's kind of like cheesy.
It's a little cheesy. But we're accepting submissions.
Submissions? Okay. But put your social media handles out, and you guys educated me,
Well, I do want to say before we end that people think that we're a single issue voting contingency, but we're not. If you look at the same systems that perpetuate war and violence in Gaza against the Palestinians, are the same people that are dependent and building up a more militarized world even here, right? Like the Democrats and the Republicans are the ones upholding genocide, but they're also the ones that are building cop cities, right? We have proposals for 80 cop cities to be built all across the United States, right? And these are, supported by Black mayors, right? And in Atlanta, in New York City, where I'm from, we have a fascist mayor already at the helms of power. He's a Black man, right? And when he ran, he was really using that race card, right? He's like, I'm gonna bring progress to New York City. And then, you're seeing all of these people who, are thinking that this man is gonna come in and create change and bring a lot of marginal communities in with him. And he didn't. He absolutely didn't. And I had a lot of my elders saying, like, we gotta canvas for him. We have to support him. And this is the only way that we're going to get our agenda onto the table, right? If you want New York City to be better for Muslims, for other marginalized communities, for immigrants, for all of these other peoples, you need to find a winning candidate and you need to back them. Well, we backed a fascist. Right, and day one, he's been just reigning, honestly, corruption. And backwards.
This is the problem. This is a problem we see everywhere, where people look for someone to represent them that is not of them. It's just someone swooping in during their campaign and getting your votes.
Exactly. So so this is not a single voter issue, right? This is the Democratic Party and the Republican Party whole scale has failed us. All of the terrible policies that we are seeing in the world today, from the lack of addressing climate change, from police brutality and the over militarization and policing of our communities, the never-ending wars, right? These are bipartisan issues. These have bipartisan support. Right? This is not a Democrat versus Republican. They've kind of just blopped together. Whether you vote in Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, we're still going to have all of these cop cities. God forbid, actually. Let me not say that, right? Hopefully we can mobilize. But these projects are still going to move forward, right? Under Democrats, under diverse people, under so-called progressives. Fascism is already here. Fascism is bipartisan.
Okay.
Fact. And like the money that could be going to getting people healthcare, the money that could be going to getting people college educations, the money that could be going to housing people, the money that could be going to repairing our streets, that's going to war. So this isn't just a single issue. This is about everything being connected.
Yeah. You guys put a lot on the table. A lot of questions in the airs too, to see what's going to happen in the next couple weeks, a couple years actually. Let's see what happens in 2028. Guys, again, social media handles, drop them, or whatever you guys want them to follow you or where.
Sure. I'm the Safia 00 on Instagram. That's THESAFIA 00.
If you want to follow our Cook County activities, we're on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. That's it, right?
Can we put it on the screen?
Facebook,
maybe.
Put it on the screen.
It's
VIP.
cook.county.green.
Yeah, on Instagram.
On Instagram.
And on TikTok. On Twitter, it's Cook County GP.
Yeah.
And Facebook? We have a Facebook group. Just type it in. Cook County Green Party.
Yeah.
And if you're not from Cook County, join your local party.
All right, guys. So hopefully this comes before the election. So if this does come before the election, go make sure and vote. Green Party, red, blue, purple, circle, refrigerator. Who knows at this point? We're in 2024. Who knows politically where we're going, the United States is going. But, right here we have the Green Party. Like I said, I'm not siding with anyone. I'm just here to inform and, the youth, anyone else, and me, myself, I'm here and I just learned. I felt like I was educated, and thank you guys. Thank you guys for actually hopping on.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
All right.